If you watched this free betting video last week for UFC Nashville, then you made a ton of money because we made a ton of money and we're looking to parlay that success into UFC 318. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC 318. But before we talk about this card, let's take a look at the success that was UFC Nashville. Pick-wise, I went 11-1 on picks. I gave you a 55% ROI from my bet specifically. Jacob and Bet Slam did very well as well. A combined 35% ROI across the board. The underdog lock of the week hit, the slam of the week hit, and the community did well also. The community sent over $50,000 in winning tickets through DMs in our free Discord and a bunch of other places. Last week was spectacular. I'm hoping this week will be as well. And you can check out every single thing that we offer on our website right now, including the bets, including the tools, including the picks and everything else. It's only $10 for an entire month's worth of access. And if UFC Nashville was any indicator of success, that $10 will pay for itself many times over. One of the tools we have on the website, because it's not just copy-paste bets, one of the tools we have on the website is a fight simulator. This simulates fights 100,000 times, and not only does it give you the outputs of who is going to win, but also the individual key indicators across the way, like how many significant strikes that fighter will land in a win or a loss. And as we all know, DraftKings, BetOnline, and other sportsbooks are adding significant strike lines, takedown lines, and more. So you can use the tool, jump on those lines, and find some solid prop bets. We also have a tool called the Line Movement Tracker, which will give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. We have a Prop Hunter. This is a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And we have a whole bunch more. Every single pick, every single bet, every single tool is available right now, not only for UFC 318, but future cards as well for only $10 an entire month. That is an entire month's worth of access for everything. There's no upsell. There's no cross-sell. It's not just a list of 5 bets. This is a full-blown interactive website with tools, insight, information, and of course, some copy-paste bets. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Here's a list of the cards you will be getting for that entire month. $10 is for a month worth of access. You're going to get UFC 318. UFC Abu Dhabi is next week, and then we have really good fight nights after that. The UFC has said goodbye to the Apex, so we're getting better cards with live crowds. Spend the $10, unlock everything, support your boys, and get, quite literally, the best service in return. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Let's talk about this card specifically. UFC 318 does feel like a favorite-heavy card. Last week, we mastered. We dominated UFC Nashville. This slide specifically, there's 4 underdogs listed. 3 of those 4 underdogs won. I had bets on those underdogs as well, and we had a spectacular card. This one feels a little different, meaning I don't know if we're going to get a bunch of dogs. Last week had 12 fights, 4 underdogs won. This week we have 14 fights, and I don't even know if 4 underdogs will win. It does feel like a favorite-heavy card, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of my more confident favorites, some solid underdogs, and then the next slide is the bets. If we're looking at confident favorites, I love Daniel Zellhuber, I love Islam Dulatov, I love Kevin Holland, I love Vinicius Oliveira, and I love all 4 of them because the people they're fighting I don't think are very good. Daniel Zellhuber's fighting an old, worn-out, beat-up Michael Johnson. Zellhuber is younger, faster. Zellhuber has better... I'm not going to say he's the better striker because Michael Johnson is a very good striker, but he's older. Daniel Zellhuber has the better cage awareness. Daniel Zellhuber is faster to react. Daniel Zellhuber is a little more durable. Daniel Zellhuber can grind. And Michael Johnson, at one point in time, could do all those things, but at 38 years old and the wars that he's been in, he's not quite the same person that he used to be. Michael Johnson's coming off a big knockout win, but that was against another 40-year-old man, and he just quite literally was just shutting his eyes, swinging wild, and happened to connect. Islam Dulatov, UFC debut. You know what we say about UFC debuts, especially in 2025? We got to be nervous. We got to be careful. You can't have all your eggs in a UFC debut basket because more than one hyped prospect has shown up this year to look like an absolute idiot. Islam Dulatov will not look like an idiot because he is a male model. So he's going to look spectacular. Like walk into that cage in that outfit, that guy's going to look great. Inside the cage, I think he's going to do well also. He is fighting Adam Fugit. Adam Fugit is a lot better than people give him credit for. People are just assuming Adam sucks. And that, No, Adam is better than that. He doesn't suck. He's got some decent wins. He's a tough guy. He can get out there. He'll get after it. He's not a coward. But Islam is just such a good striker. He hits fast. He hits hard. He makes things happen. He's got great sprawls. He's got good offensive submissions. I think Islam showcases here. I think he gets it done. Kevin Holland. To put Kevin Holland as a confident favorite just a year ago would have been a sacrament. It would have been an absolute catastrophe to assume that Kevin Holland would show up and do what he was supposed to do. One of the most unreliable people in this sport, a guy with no takedown defense. But a year later, welterweight Kevin Holland, multiple fights in a row at welterweight Kevin Holland, has looked great. He has looked absolutely great. We always knew the jiu-jitsu was good. The takedown defense has always been mediocre, but the striking has always been spectacular. He's tying it together really, really well. He's on a nice little win streak here. He just beat the piss out of Vicente Luque, and he's fighting an older, slowed down Daniel Rodriguez who will not threaten a takedown in any capacity whatsoever. Daniel Rodriguez doesn't even kick. Daniel Rodriguez is only a boxer. Kevin Holland is longer, taller, faster, cleaner. Kevin Holland is not going to shoot a takedown here, but if it somehow ends up on the ground, he's going to be light years ahead there as well. Kevin Holland is a very good striker. He will be the better striker here, and I think Kevin Holland gets it done. And then Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira has the best odds out of any of them. And the odds have tightened a little bit. You'll see in a second. I bet on Vinicius at minus 160. We're talking about 0.004 in the odds, so it doesn't really matter dollar-wise. But I bet on Vinicius because I feel like not only is he a better fighter than Kyler Phillips in every single aspect of MMA, he's just as much, if not bigger, as a dog, meaning he's just going to get after it. He's tough. He's gritty. He's grimy. He will make the fights tough, titty, and grimy. He's not going to give up. And I think Vinicius just sort of breaks Kyler Phillips. Vinicius broke Ricky Simone. Vinicius broke Bernardo Sopai. Vinicius is coming off a win over Said Nurmagomedov. I think all three of those people can beat Kyler Phillips. Maybe not Bernardo Sopai, but Vinicius Oliveira can grind. He is a dog. And on top of it, he's not just like Nate Landwehr, where he's like some... I'm not going to be rude to Nate. We like Nate. I'm not going to be rude to Nate. Nate doesn't have the skills to match the toughness. Vinicius Oliveira has the toughness, has the skills, has the grit, has the forward pressure. I think he wins here. I think he's probably some of the best value on this card, and this card is loaded with -6, -7, -5, up and down. But you get -156. I think Vinicius gets it done. I think he's solid as a favorite here. If we're looking at underdogs, Marcin Prachnio, I think, is a decent dog. Now, I have picked against him. Just because I put somebody in a solid underdog list doesn't mean that I'm betting on them or that I think they're going to win. I'm just identifying here that that's a good underdog that can win. And that's because I think Marcin Prachnio is probably the better striker. He's tough. The takedown defense is decent. And Jimmy Crute hasn't won a single fight in years. In years. He is 0-3-2 in his last 5. 0-3-2. 0 wins, 3 losses, and then a no contest and a draw make up that third number there. Marcin Prachnio is tough. He can be a little grindy. He can be a little grimy. He'll fight you against the cage. The biggest issue, the only reason I haven't full-blown picked Marcin Prachnio is his takedown defense is not great, and Jimmy can, in theory, get some takedowns. So Marcin Prachnio, though, is a great dog, can absolutely make something happen. Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori's head is made out of what they make fire hydrants out of. Marvin Vettori's head is made out of what they make crowbars out of. Marvin Vettori is rock solid and consistent. You know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get high volume striking and then grappling if he's fighting somebody who isn't Roman Dolidze. I think Marvin Vettori is going to move forward, stay busy with the hands. I think he defends a few of the sloppy Brendan Allen takedowns. I think Marvin Vettori flat out wins this fight. I am picking him to win this fight. Marvin Vettori can be a little tricky because he hasn't really evolved. Marvin Vettori right now is the same fighter he was a few years ago. Luckily for him, Brendan Allen hasn't really evolved either. And while I guarantee in the training room, Brendan Allen is probably one of the best training partners in that gym because he can do all the things. Brendan can strike. Brendan can grapple. Brendan can do anything. He can do all those things. But come fight night, he just strikes or he just grapples. And if that plan doesn't go his way, he doesn't have the backup plan. Go watch his fight against Nasruddin. Some success early, couldn't get takedowns after that, and was like, it was one of the worst performances I've seen. Brendan Allen doesn't know who he wants to be. He dresses different every week. He acts different every week. He fights different every fight. I don't think he knows who he wants to be. He's not fully settled into like, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not good at. And here's my game plan. Where Marvin Vettori is not like razzle dazzle, but he's insanely durable. He's going to come forward with aggression. He's going to throw a gazillion strikes, and he might wrestle. I think Marvin Vettori can win this fight. Patricio Pitbull. I didn't pick Pitbull. I wanted to pick Pitbull. I picked Pitbull in his last fight, and it didn't work out for me. So I'm not picking him in this one. He is 38 years old. But if you run through his history and his resume, Patricio Pitbull has one of the best resumes in the history of MMA. Problem is, he's a little older. By the time he got to the UFC, he was past his prime. But he is fighting Dan Ige. We love Dan Ige. Dan Ige's tough. Thank you, Dan. He is tough. He is durable. Dan Ige's not going to quit on anybody. So this is a perfect fight for both of them. Two tough guys that are going to come forward and get after it. Patricio Pitbull can grapple. He will 100%, without question, have a wrestling and grappling edge in this fight. And if he sticks to that game plan, he could definitely win this fight. And I have a bet on Patricio. I'll show you that in a second. And then, of course, Dustin Poirier in the main event. This is a trilogy. Dustin won the first 2 times, but he's a dog in this fight. Not only is he a dog in this fight, his opponent, Max Holloway, was just knocked out cold. Was unconscious, knocked out cold, 6 months ago? His opponent is coming up in weight. He fought at 145 pounds 6 months ago when he was knocked out. Dustin's coming off a drag-him-out war with an all-time great Islam Makhachev. So for Dustin to be a dog here is a bit surprising, regardless of what side you're on. I actually think Max might win this fight because I think Dustin at home in a retirement fight in a huge arena is probably just going to go punch for punch and not use his actual skills. And I think Max will just win with sheer volume. But either way, Dustin is a spectacular underdog here, especially if you already think he wins. Let's take a look at my bets. I have more bets on other slides as well, but here's my bets. I've got a little more than usual as of right now. I'm filming this early. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I normally film it like Wednesday or Thursday. We've got some more bets going. I'm filming it on Tuesday because of some travel stuff I got going on, and Jacob and I are going to do our show on Thursday. Anyway, I already have 5.75 units out the door. I'm probably going to add more. So there are more bets coming. As I mentioned, this feels like a favorite heavy card. So I don't have a lot of underdog bets, but what I have done is I've made a bunch of different parlays, and we found some props that I think work. Vinicius Oliveira, straight up, I went straight money line. And the reason I went straight money line is he's one of the only affordable fighters on this card. So I'm not going to parlay him and then double or triple the risk. I'm just going to leave it as is, straight parlay, 1 unit at minus 160. So we'll bring back a nice little profit there, especially on a card like this when everybody is -5, -6, -700. I took a couple of favorites that I think will win, but I don't fully trust, and I slapped them together in Roman Kopylov and Brunno Ferreira. Roman Kopylov should be the far better striker. Paulo Costa is usually more concerned about having fun than winning fights, and that is fine, especially in this matchup here, because if he starts trying to grapple Roman, he could win. But we're on the Roman side. I think Roman's just a much, much better striker. Roman quite literally has beaten everybody that can't take him down. So Roman Kopylov and then Brunno. Brunno should smoke Jackson McVey. He should smoke. Jackson McVey was a short notice step-up UFC debut at UFC 317. That card was missing fights. It was a disaster. They brought in a regional kid. Jackson only has, 8 fights? They brought in a regional kid and said, hey, we need another fight on this card. Here you go, pal. That fight fell apart because his opponent missed a ton of weight, and they moved him. The UFC said, hey, we appreciate you. You made weight. You stepped up, so we'll use you on this card. Brunno lost his opponent. So Jackson is stepping up again on short notice just a month later. The issue is, while I don't know if Jackson is UFC caliber or not, I do know that Brunno is, which is why Brunno is the pick and he's in this parlay. But I do know that Brunno also slows down a little bit. So Brunno's dangerous. He's got good, powerful hands. He's got high-level judo. He should absolutely win this fight, but there's a lot of question marks on his opponent, so a little nerve-wracking there. Then I have another parlay with favorites who I think win, but they're all sketchy for their own independent reasons. Atabak Gatier. This dude can knock the head off of a horse. One punch, that horse's head is separated from his body like the Godfather. But I don't know what his cardio is going to look like. if this fight happens to go a little long, and he's fighting a wild man. I don't know what his situation's going to be if he gets taken down. I don't know a lot because all we saw was one fight and he took the dude's body off and that was it. And it was fast and it was easy and he was done. So he should win this fight. I'm picking him. I'm betting on him. A couple questions there. So I put him with other questionable favorites. Ryan Spann is one of them. Ryan Spann did not look great in his heavyweight debut in his last fight. He was calling fake fouls. He didn't even look like a guy that wanted to be at heavyweight to transform his career. It looked like a guy who didn't want to cut weight anymore and didn't want to have to jog. But he is fighting a very chinny guy. He's fighting Lukasz Brzeski. Lukasz Brzeski can be finished anywhere. Ryan Spann finds finishes everywhere. So I do think Ryan Spann wins, and we threw him in here. And then Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute, for all the reasons I mentioned before. This dude can't win. He is 0-3-2 in his last 5. He cannot find a win. But he's fighting somebody he should be able to take down. In Jimmy Crute's last fight, the opening round was a 10-8. He looked very, very good in that opening round. I think Jimmy Crute can win here. I put the 3 of them together. It is plus 133. I only put a half a unit because it is a little riskier. The rest of these bets I'm a little more confident in. We have the Ige Pitbull fight, over 2.5. 2 all-time tough guys. Both of them are insanely tough. They can both be dangerous, but it's not like they're both absolute killers. Like both of them have been to plenty of decisions, both winning and losing. I think that goes long. Same with Costa Kopylov. Costa is one of the toughest dudes we've ever seen. That dude will take an absolute beating and go back and forth. Roman Kopylov is also pretty tough, and I don't see him getting beat on the feet, certainly not finished. And if he does get taken down, he's got decent enough takedown defense to keep it up. But if he does get taken down, I can see him avoiding the submission. So I do think both of those fights go to a decision. I parlayed those. 1 unit plus 105. I got a couple of premium prop bets, a plus 250, a plus 160. We have the safety parlay at minus 146. And then I have this other prop bet that I threw up here is Patricio Pitbull plus 3.5 points. All that means is you're buying points on the scorecard. So you're betting the spread in an MMA fight. And if Patricio Pitbull can win 1 round on all 3 judges' scorecards against Dan Ige, this bet cashes. So if it's a close fight, it's a 29-28 split, we get paid. Don't care what direction it goes. If Pitbull wins outright, we get paid. If Pitbull loses a 29-28, we get paid. There's a lot of, the only time we don't get paid is if Pitbull gets finished, which I do not see happening, as I indicated with the bet above that, or if he just gets shut down 30-27 across the board. I don't see that happening either. Pitbull should have some success here. This is a relatively well-matched up fight. And as I mentioned, we got a couple more premium bets from me. We got the safety parlay from me, and you can unlock every single one of those bets right now at WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 for an entire month. Here's a look at some of the other premium bets. We have 26 units of bets on the board. 8+ units of that are for future events. We have Abu Dhabi bets on the card. We have future events on the slate there for you. When we see fights that we like and we see bets that drop, we jump on them. I don't care if it's this week, a month from now, a week from now, we jump on them. So there are future bets on the board. That's how you get ahead of the line movement. And then, as I mentioned, 26 total units from me, Jacob, and BetSam. And there are more coming. BetSam hasn't done his full bet slate yet. I'm adding more. Check it all out now on the website. Here's a couple of teasers. We have Paulo Costa win inside the distance, decision, no action. I love that bet. I don't see Paulo winning, but if he does win, it likely could be on the ground. He could end up taking Roman down, finding a submission there. In all likelihood, it goes to a decision, and if it does, you get a full refund, and that's what this bet means. Win inside the distance, decision, no action. If Paulo Costa wins inside the distance by finish, you get paid. If it goes to a decision, there's no action. You get a full refund, you get your money back. It never happened. Inevitably, we place these bets, and inevitably, I get emails and DMs. Hey, I can't find what sportsbook do you use? First of all, we use Bet Online. I live in Texas. I have to use Bet Online. If you use DraftKings or some of these other books, it might be called finish only. Okay? Answer the question. No reason to send an email. Atabak Gutier, first round knockout. The fact that that's plus money is shocking because that is the most likely outcome of that fight. That he wins by knockout and it's in the first round. There's a bet on Marvin Vettori, quarter of a unit at plus 240. That was a bet that was placed a little while ago. When I talk about 8+ units of future bets, that was one. And you can see the line difference between when the bet was placed at plus 240 and what that looks like right now. Premium membership is only $10, you cheap, cheap son of a bitch. $10 for every tool, every pick, every bet, now and future. Then we have an 8-leg premium parlay. Jacob put that together, plus 884, an 8-leg parlay. And then Jacob's lock of the week. You're going to have to watch his lock of the week video to see who that is. I'm not trying to spoil anything. Check it all out. Guys, here's the 4 cards you'll unlock. It's $10 for an entire month. I'm not sitting here trying to charge $100 a month for some dumb dick bets on a Patreon. And then when they lose, I'm like, UFC sucks. Here's tennis bet. Get the fuck out. It's $10 for an entire month, and it's not just bets. You get picks, you get tools, we have an artificial intelligence, and we have an app that'll send you push notifications. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month, and here's the 4 cards you will unlock in that month. And I opened up this entire video with a slide that had underdogs and favorites. And you saw the odds with a sports book, and then you saw the odds on Bet Openly. And Bet Openly had the best odds every time. And that's because Bet Openly is not a sports book. It is peer-to-peer, human-to-human betting. I will put a bet on the board, and then you can go ahead and take the other side of that bet. And if I lose, you have my actual money in your pocket. And if you lose, I have your money in my pocket. And the reason I love it is, yeah, of course, the odds are better. You save some money. You make more when you win. You lose less when you lose. I love it. I like it, though, to shut losers up. You know the people. You have any opinion whatsoever, and you're called a casual. You're called an idiot. It just happened to Jacob. Jacob was tweeting last week that Tuco was going to take down and finish Junior Taffa. And people were on Twitter calling him an idiot. You're stupid. I'll be back. I'll be back to this tweet. They're attacking Jacob. All Jacob did was put his opinion. They're attacking him. I'll be back to this tweet. Well, turns out Jacob was right, as was I. Tuco's did take down Junior and did finish him. But I would have solved this instead of a random Twitter argument with an anonymous username. I would have solved it with a Bet Openly link. Be like, all right, loudmouth. Here's the link. Here's the link. I just bet on Tuco. You go ahead and take the other side. Here is the link. Take the other side. Put your money where your mouth is. And if you don't, you're a coward and a pussy. Shut up. And if you do, hey, let the best man win. That's it. If I win, I have your money. You win, you have my money. And the argument's over. I love Bet Openly to solve arguments with idiots. And I've lost plenty. So in those cases, I'm the idiot. Check them out now, betopenly.com or wewantpicks.com/betopenly. And while Bet Openly is not a sports book, we do have sports book affiliate partners. If you go to wewantpicks.com/bets and you use any of our links to sign up with any of our sports book partners, we will send you $50 as a thank you. You use the link, you sign up, you make a deposit, they pay us, and I slice off $50 and I give it to you. Very straightforward, very easy. Everybody wins. The circle of happiness. Guys, I appreciate the watch. Good luck this weekend. We crushed last week. I crushed UFC 317. I'm on a nice little streak here. Let's have more of the same at UFC 318. Good luck this weekend.